Hi, and welcome to Hedge Fund Manager. I'm Karl-Mikael Syding, and we're continuing with Apple's deep dive today. So we're at the point of technical analysis. And as you can see here, using investing.com as my TA tool, you notice here that Apple's share price here in green and red candles is below the 200-day moving average level, the important 200 moving day average, which is one of the almost the single one TA tool that I use, but definitely the best, I think, and the most commonly used, and also possibly no, I simply think it is the best timing tool. That said, however, it cannot be used single-handedly for deciding on investments or trades. We can actually look at it in real time. So here I can just scroll using the mouse to make the chart longer and longer, and here you see the 200-day moving average. Actually, Apple stock has followed it very closely. Look at all the times it just touched the 200-day and then kept moving upward. And then we had the 2022-2023 sideways move where it actually did not respect the 200-day. And after that, it entered a period from early 2023 until just recently about the turn into 2025. And during this period, it had a strong positive trend and just touched the 200 day moving average from the upside a couple of times. Once shortly fell below. You could call that a failed attempt at breaking downward. But now recently here in March, Apple share price actually did break down, then made a, let's zoom in a little bit. You can see here how it first bounced off of the 200-day, and then here had a huge move down. You see this large red candle here, a huge move down, which broke through the 200-day, and after that it's made a couple of failed attempts at even touching the 200 moving day from under, and here a really weak attempt at recapturing that level, and again failing quite a bit from the 200-day moving average, at least in a zoomed out state. This, I think, has established a pretty strong negative trend. This means that the reason a 200 day moving average can be established means that there are sellers, constant sellers, and new sellers coming on, being more eager than the buyers, and that is creating this pattern of lower highs, lower lows, and also breaking through a 200-day moving average. So I would say that this is quite a negative technical trend, something to really pay attention to. And zooming out even more, we can see that there is pretty much room on the downside here technically to perhaps these previous lows. It seems like here there could be some support at around maybe the 125-130 level, but that's 40% down. So there is pretty much downside room here for Apple to move, and we'll see about the valuation part later. If we also add in our TA on the market, I prepared a chart here for NASDAQ, and you can see that NASDAQ moved not too unsimilar to Apple, staying below for a while here. That's where actually Apple managed to break above. And then since early 2023 has been in a very strong positive trend, driven by not least AI and the Magnificent Seven stocks, up until very recently, where we can see how the entire Nasdaq mimics Apple's moves as well. And not too surprising considering how large Apple is, but still Apple is just one of the Magnificent Seven, even though it has a 3 trillion market cap. But you really have to have Nvidia and Microsoft and Amazon and Meta and the others with you on the downside in order to establish a trend like this. And you can see zoomed in here for Nasdaq. We went through here in around March, got very, very close to attempting to break up through the 200-day moving average. And now recently, just the other day, just before the weekend, touched the 200-day and then broke down again. And today, this morning in Europe, we're seeing quite a negative market. So either it will succeed in the coming days or weeks to break up, or I think at least as of today, this is a very negative formation in terms of the 200-day moving average. So we are in a pretty red negative territory when it comes to the technical analysis for both Apple and the relevant market for Apple, so the Nasdaq index.